I can show you what the Bible says, so if we can look at it together. Leviticus 18:22. It says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind. It is an abomination."
Being black in this gay community. Oh, it's terrible. Especially in Kentucky, specifically Louisville. Like Louisville thinks it's just like so progressive, and so there's like all these like gay white people out in the streets just like having like a fucking ball, right? There's like black trans people and like black queer people in West Louisville getting killed. We don't have the same privilege as these white gays who like are able to freely express themselves without fearing for their lives at the same time.
79% of LGBTQ people who were killed in 2016 were either black or Hispanic.
One thing that we maybe don't do a good job of is making sure the students know who the people in the building are that can help them. So there's a communication issue where you're being very open and upfront about, hey, we are trying to address these issues. Here's what we have in place. Here's what we're doing. And these are potential people who may be able to help.
I would like to think that all kids are respected regardless. However, there are some teachers out there who probably aren't as informed as they need to be.
85% of black LGBT students say that they hear homophobic slurs daily in the hallways at school.
My school, it's got this like really like faux progressive atmosphere, but they don't really like consider like black people of color, etc., and all like the intersections of identities and like classes and stuff.
I get some awkward situations, I guess, whenever I might be talking to my friends or whatever, because I'm on like both sides kind of thing. So it's kind of difficult to pop in the conversations.
Well, let's say there's a continuous group of anywhere from probably 15 to 30 students that meet every week. I would say black students might make up 3 to 6, 7 kids. Not a lot. Well, I think our group has done, especially this year, a good job. Like they celebrated Black History Month, so every Wednesday it was a focus on a different LGBTQ person, black persons. I don't think that they've ever gotten into any of the core issues, because I think black LGBTQ kids have a whole separate bunch of issues that white and maybe others do not.
Things that are going on with the student outside of the classroom do affect their performance. You have to be able to address the social issues that the students are having to deal with outside of class before you can address content issues.
Research from the University of Arizona and the Gay Straight Transgender Alliance reported that LGBT students of color face more incidents of harsh school discipline and are blamed for their victimization.
I think my family's religious, but I'm not strictly religious. My family, especially the more spiritual side of my family, they're more accepting, I guess, because they know that this is important to me and it's something that's a part of just who I am.
I am not religious, but my family's like hella religious. And even like the Presbyterian church itself is like actually a pretty progressive church. But like I guess like more of the like toxicity comes from like their I guess like their perception of like LGBT people in general, instead of like the progressiveness of the church. It kind of has like more of the thing to do like with blackness and black people, like the line between like black people and LGBT people compared to the line between like our like Presbyterian church and the relationship with LGBT people. That when I kind of like moved away from like specific organized religion, that like it kind of like helped me to understand who I am and like what I like.
I do think it is challenging for many LGBT youth in the African American community. For some that, depending on a lot of religious beliefs, there are some that may have a more fundamental view that are not as accepting.
A recent study shows that young black men often have trouble leaving the church due to its cultural relevance. This has led to LGBT men to conceal their sexuality for fear of shame and gossip.
with like African American communities. I don't know. I feel like it's been like easier because like we're like raised in like this like raised as American with like American ideals and like and these values. So I think like people like African Americans, like we view it as like more free. And I think like the African American community, we have like a lot of work to do. But I feel like because we have these ideals of like being a free country in like American society, I feel like it's more easier to integrate into like society. An African American family compared to like a Black Caribbean family, I feel like Black Caribbeans are a lot more behind on like these like topics of like social justice and everything, like with LGBTQ people.
And so that may show itself in some of the jokes that are being used or some of the music and the lyrics and those sort of cultural content things that we see, and sometimes just get ignored just because it's just a part of the culture.
Whenever there's issues that concern just the Black community, a lot of people forget about other people that are in the Black community that are LGBTQ. I know that whenever there are issues, it involves everyone, and it should involve everyone rather than just a select amount of people.
Black LGBT youth are half as likely to be out as their white counterparts.
Basically, I was talking to my friend and her mom, and I didn't know if I should do it or not, and they said go for it. So I pulled my mom aside in the living room one day and I said, hey, I'm bi, and she said, all right, cool.
I guess like I first came out like my sophomore year of high school. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like all my friends like knew, but like it was more like a coming out to myself more than it was like a coming out to anybody else. Coming out to my family, like I just been like, it's like been like bits and pieces. I haven't like specifically came out to my like the family outside of like me and my mom. I hadn't told my mom because she hadn't like specifically asked me. And so I don't know, I guess like I just don't feel like coming out just like for reasons of self-preservation. I feel like if she was like just like ask me herself, then I'd like tell her that I'm gay.
Some students would be worried that if they came out, they might have to deal with some sort of violence or aggression. And certainly I would not want to put a student in a situation where they'd have to deal with some sort of aggression because of that.
I'd say if you feel safe with coming out, come out. If you feel like with your family, come out to like the people who you feel like you can really trust.
I'd say do it if the circumstances are right.
What I would always hope and want for my students is that they would be able to be their authentic self.
It's really important to just like stay true to who you are and come out whenever you're ready to come out.
If you feel strongly about it, then people need to know who you are.
To be like 100% for sure that you know like the consequences that may happen when coming out, because you know we don't really want other Black LGBT people to die.